Very good. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
डीटी वर्शिप शुरू हो रहा है तो वहां पे होते जाके, ठीक है।
No, he's conscious. He's like, if I don't know it, is he going to judge us? So good. Yeah. Yes.
Reading from Chaitanya Bhagavat, chapter 12, the Nityananda Mahima, the glories of Lord Nityananda, as related by Srila Vedavyas Vrindavan Das Thakur, chapter 12 of Madhya Kanda. Yesterday we heard some of the very beautiful qualities of Lord Nityananda. Prita, it says Prita Madhura Sambhasha. He spoke very sweetly, full of love, full of Chaitanya Prem, Gauranga Prem. His heart was swirling in different waves of ecstatic prema for Lord Gauranga. And when he would speak, all these bhavas and feelings would come in his voice. And he was always dancing and singing, playing musical instruments and laughing. Kevalananda Kanda. It's a joyful process. One day Prabhupada is saying that a disciple asked Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, if a disciple, if a devotee in Krishna consciousness movement, if he is morose means dejected, long face, appearing unhappy, then what does that mean? And Prabhupada said, if someone is morose, it means he's not Krishna conscious. He's not Krishna conscious. Kevala Ananda Kanda. Ananda Kanda Bhagavan. Ananda Kanda Bhagavat. Ananda Kanda Bhagavan, Ananda Kanda Bhakta. So Prabhupada said, if he's morose, then that means he's not Krishna conscious. If he's conscious of Krishna, his best friend, his guardian, his well-wisher, who's always with him, then there's no reason not to be happy. People are unhappy for the want of a friend. People are unhappy for want of protection. People are unhappy for want of maintenance or having an affectionate guardian. But Krishna is all of these. He's affectionate guardian, he's the nourisher and maintainer, best friend. Suridam sarvabhutanam. Ridesharduna tishtati. He says, Suridam sarvabhutanam, I'm everyone's friend. It's a very interesting verse from Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna is telling it, Prabhupada said this is the peace formula. Chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita, verse 29. Bhoktaram yagatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridam sarvabhutanam gyatvam mam shantam richati. Shantam, shanti, peacefulness. So this verse is very interesting. Because on one level Krishna is saying, I am God, I'm the Bhoktaram yagatapasam, I'm the goal of all austerities and all tapasya. Sarvaloka maheshwaram, I'm Jagannath, Jagadish, I control the whole universe. All the planets, I'm the Maheshwaram. Sarvalok, all the different lokas, Goloka, Bhurloka, Bhuvarloka, Swargaloka, all the lokas, I am the Maheshwara, I'm the controller. So that's a very grandiose, majestic concept of God. And he's way out there. But then he says, Arjuna, that is one level, but there's another level. There's the personal level. I'm your best friend. It says Suridam Sarvabhutanam. Suridam Sarvabhutanam. Krishna is saying, I am the best friend of every living entity. So it's very interesting. If you imagine you work in a factory, you're a factory worker and there's 5,000 people working in that steel factory. Then there's the CEO, Chief Executive Officer, or the MD, the Managing Director, the owner. So everyone in the factory, they know he's the boss, he gives us the paycheck, he's maintaining us, we're working very hard. But how many people can say he's my best friend? I'm best friends with the owner of this factory. Hardly. Hardly any one of the workers can say that he's the best friend with the Managing Director. But Krishna in this verse 529, he says, I'm managing the entire universe. I'm such a big, big person, so powerful, so expansive and unlimited. But yet, I'm your heartly friend. I'm your heart-to-heart friend. I'm the friend of all living entities, the dearmost, Surit. Surit means very heartily, or heartfelt friend. It's a very interesting verse if you study the commentaries on this verse from Gita 5:29. The acharyas are saying that this is again this interplay of Aishvarya and Madhurya. The grand Aishvarya power, the power aspect of the Lord and the love aspect. Madhurya means sweetness, charm, beauty. Because everyone knows that beauty is more powerful than power. Love is more powerful than power. The greatest power is love. You may have so many armies and so much wealth and so much influence and so much physical strength, but you'll risk it all, or you'll throw it all away for love. Like Caesar. Caesar fell in love with the Queen of Egypt, Cleopatra or something, princess or whatever. So he risked his armies, he went to war, everything. There's no greater power than the power of love. That's why Krishna represents the love power. Vishnu represents the Vibhuti Shakti, the power of sheer opulence, just power for power's sake, the controller, the creator, the maintainer. But even Lakshmi Devi, she's not that impressed. His own divine consort, his most intimate associate, is attracted to Krishna because of love power. Madhurya is more attractive than Aishvarya. So in this verse 529, we have the Aishvarya aspect. Krishna's Bhoktaram, Yagatapasam, he's Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. That's all Aishvarya, the Vishnu aspect. But then we have The madhurya, the sweetness, the intimate, the friendly, intimate aspect. Near and dear, my near and dear one, my heartly friend, Sridam Sarvabhutanam. Krishna is a heartly friend of everyone. Because this is the whole undercurrent of Bhagavad Gita, is that Arjuna is the Priya Sakha, Priyosime, Saketi, Priyosime. He said, you're my dear, you're my Priya Jana, my Priya Sakha. You're very dear to me and you're my Saketi, you're my friend. But yet I'm showing you Vishwarup. I'm showing you Vishwarup Darshan. And what does Arjuna say? Oh, too much power, too grand, too magnificent, too awesome, too fearsome. I'm afraid. Please show your sweet form, your Duibuj, two-arm form, the sweet form, human-like form. This form with thousands and thousands of arms and thousands of mouths, it's too awesome, it's too grand, too much Aishvarya. Aishvaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashashashya. I just want my friend Krishna. So this is a sweet aspect. So here in Nityananda, he's showing us sweetness, singing, dancing, laughing. Interesting description in one Puran about Arjuna. Maybe it's in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, I can't remember. Maybe it's Brihad Bhagavatamrita. But Narada Muni, he goes to visit Krishna in Dwarka Leela. And when he gets there, he meets Daruka, Krishna's Sarati, chariot driver. He said, where is my Lord? Where is Lord Dwarkadish? He said, he's resting upstairs in his bedroom with Arjuna. So Narada Muni, he goes upstairs and enters the master bedroom of Dwarkadish. There's a very large bed there. It's made of crystal, and there's beautiful bedposts, brass or golden bedposts. There's a canopy over the bed and rows of pearls hanging from the canopy. Very, very beautiful, ornate bed. Very luxurious, wide and long. So Krishna is lying there on the bed. He's sleeping. And Arjuna is also on the same bed. But the interesting arrangement is that Krishna is lying like this, and he's holding on. Krishna is holding on his chest, right near his face. He's holding the 2 feet of Arjuna. Arjuna's head is here. Krishna's head is here. Arjuna's feet are here, just under Krishna's chin on his chest. Here's Arjuna's feet, like this. Now, on Arjuna's side, Arjuna is lying there and he's holding the feet of Krishna on his chest, just under his chin, like this. And they're both sound asleep. Krishna is sleeping with Arjuna's feet on his chest, and Arjuna is sleeping with Krishna's feet on his chest. Now, standing beside the bed, beside Krishna, is Rukmini. Rukmini has a chamara fan. She's doing chamara seva, chamara. Very cooling the Lord and keeping the mucky away, keeping the flies away. Now standing opposite the side of Arjuna is Draupadi. And Draupadi is fanning with chamara. Very, very beautiful scene, a wonderful scene. Conveys so much love, how much love the Lord has for His devotee, for His Sakha, Priyosime, His Saketi, His dear friend Arjuna. But that's not all. Narada came in the room and Narada saw this amazing scene. Krishna here holding Arjuna's feet, Arjuna holding Krishna's feet. All these different rasas and anubhavas, everything going on simultaneously. The wives are serving, and there's Madhurya Ras, and there's Dasya Ras, and there's Sakya Ras, all mixing up. Most amazing thing was that as Krishna was lying there holding the feet of Arjuna on his chest in Dwarka. Coming out of Krishna's body, from every pore of his body, his arms, his chest, there was a sound vibration emanating. There was a mantra. Krishna's entire body was vibrating a mantra, a 2-syllable mantra. Arjun, 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 Arjun. Like this. And Arjun, who was holding Krishna's feet to his chest, every pore of his body, front and back, was vibrating a 2-syllable mantra. You can imagine what that mantra is. Krishna, 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 Krishna. So Narada Muni saw this and he said, wow, amazing. Bapare Bap. Chamatkar, amazing, inconceivable. So this is the love, the sweetness, how the sweetness is much greater than the Virata Roop. And so Arjun, because Arjun is telling in Bhagavad Gita, he's saying, Krishna, now that you've shown me this powerful Aishvarya form, this opulent, powerful, omnipotent form of God, the generator, the operator, the destroyer, G-O-D, I'm shuddering in fear and I feel so embarrassed. Please forgive me. Sometimes we ate food together. Sometimes we slept on the same bed together. So when they were sleeping on the same bed together, it was like this, as I described. Feet to head to feet, and the whole body chanting. But this was the sweetness, because when the Aishvarya comes, the sweetness retracts. And when the sweetness increases, the Aishvarya retracts. So this Nityananda Prabhu is showing us his wonderful pastimes here. So now this is text 5. Swananu bhavanande shane karina hunkar shunileya purva bhuti janmaye sabhar. Sometimes Nitai roared loudly out of his own ecstasy. Hunkar. Hearing his roar, everyone became struck with wonder. Shunile apurva buddhi janame sabhar. Varshate gange deu kumbire veshtita tahate bhashaye tilardeka nahivita. During the rainy season, the waves of the Ganga were full of crocodiles. What do they call them? Makardwaj? What do they call crocodile? Makardwaj or something? In Hindi they call Makardwaj? Was it? Makarmach? Magaramach. Magaramach. So Ganga, during rainy season, Ganga was full of crocodiles. Yet Nityananda fearlessly floated on those waters. We were saying the other day that later, when Nityananda was engaged in preaching, and his preaching partner was Haridas Thakur, we were telling the other day, Haridas went and complained to Gauranga. He said, well, this preaching partner you sent me with is most unpredictable. And he's a little bit like crazy. We're walking along the banks of the Ganga and suddenly jumps in and starts grabbing the alligators, holding onto their tail and going for a ride in the Ganga. And everyone's on the shore, Nitai, hey Bhagavan, save him, Gorbachao, save him. So he causes us so much trepidation, so much anxiety by his antics. So very difficult to go preaching with such a partner as Nityananda. So this is a complaint. So here's the pastime that he would enjoy this. Nityananda fearlessly floated in those waters. So he was not afraid for even half a moment. Bengali is a very interesting phrase. Like we say in English, the blink of an eye. Like someone says, oh, just wait right here. I'll be back in the blink of an eye. That means very taratari, very fast, fatafat. I'll be back in the blink of an eye. But in Bengali they say tila ardeka. Arda means half, and tila means sesame seed. Because sesame seed is a very small object, very tiny, you know, the tilka bij, very small, is what we call sesame seed, tilka bij. And then half of that is even smaller. So Vrindavandas Thakur is using this poetic phrase. It's very common in Chaitanya Mangal and Chaitanya Bhagavat. Tilardeka means half. Nityananda wasn't afraid for half a what do you say? Sesame seed. That's like, in other words, not even for a split second. We say in English, a split second. You take a second and split it in half. So this is a very poetic way, Tilardeka. He was not afraid to play in the waters with the crocodiles. Of course, we don't advise anyone to imitate the pastimes of the Lord. There's imitation, following the footsteps. We may play in the Ganga and with our friends and have Jal Keli or water splashing fights like Lord Chaitanya had in Puri and also here in Narendra Sarovara with his associates. But if there's crocodiles there, then I wouldn't advise anyone to follow the footsteps of Lord Nityananda and fearlessly go and play with the crocodiles. Unless you want to fearlessly become their lunch, you can offer yourselves to them. Sarvaloka deki dare, kare hai hai, tarapi basena hasi, Nityananda rai. So when everyone was seeing him floating amongst the crocodiles, they became frightened, and everyone standing on the bank was yelling, exclaiming, "Alas, alas, hi, hi." But Nityananda smiled and continued to float on the waters with his friendly crocodiles. Right? He felt right at home with the crocodiles. He didn't have any fear. Because on one level, of course, Nityananda is also Shirdakshay Vishnu. Right? Balaram expands as Purushavatars. So inside the heart of the crocodile, he's already there. Nityananda is there as the super soul. So he knows he's there as a super soul. The super soul is directing the living entity, the wanderings of the living entity according to his karma. He's saying, do this, do that. He's reminding us and arranging everything. We may have forgotten something, but the super soul hasn't. So he's confident that everything's under control. Everything's under his control or Bhagavan's control. Anantara bhave prabhu bhasena gangai na bujiya sarvaloka kari hai hai. Nityananda floated in the Ganga in the mood of Ananta, not understanding his glories. Everyone lamented, "Alas, alas." Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's purport. Lord Ananta eternally lies down in the causal ocean. In the same mood, Nityananda floated in the Ganga by the way of swimming. Those who did not know his glories became filled with anxiety. So in other words, those people in Navadvip or Mayapur who thought Nityananda was just one of them or an ordinary person, they were fearful, they were afraid, because they didn't know the transcendental identity of Nityananda. But others, the devotees, those at Advaitacharya and others, they were not disturbed, they were not afraid. It's all part of the Lord's Leela, His pastimes. Anande murchitava hayena konchan, tina chari divaseo na haya chetan. Sometimes Nitai lost consciousness due to ecstatic love and did not regain consciousness even after 3 or 4 days. He was unconscious. So, it's an interesting point. I don't know. I think Jayapataka Swami, when he first was sick, I think it was 3 or 4 days he was unconscious. Is it? Then how many? 4 days. Because I was following on internet the progress, but I didn't see in the beginning. I remember I was reading somewhere, they said he was unconscious for 4 days. And so he had lost consciousness for 4 days. Maybe he was absorbed in Nityananda's Leela. Who can understand? Vaishnavara Kriya Mudra. It's very difficult to understand the movements of the Vaishnava. Only Krishna knows the movements, and he's controlling the movements of these pure devotees. But sometimes he lost consciousness due to ecstatic love and did not regain consciousness even after teen chadi, 3 or 4 days. Being absorbed in ecstatic love for Krishna, Nityananda sometimes did not manifest external consciousness for 4 days. Once, Gaur Govinda Swami was here in Mayapur in a kirtan. I believe it was Mayapur. And there was an ecstatic kirtan, maybe he was leading the kirtan, I don't know. This is back in 77, 6 or something. I don't know. 76. Excuse me? No, this is long before that. In 96 he left. But way before, like 77, 78, somewhere, Gaur Govinda Swami. And then he fainted. And then they called in some doctors and they thought, oh, what's wrong? He just fainted in the temple room. He fainted in the kirtan. And they thought he was some maybe heart attack or some difficulty. So they called in some doctors and they said, somehow he's unconscious. And then Srila Prabhupada's godbrother was here. Any of the disciples of Gaur Govinda Swami, they know, and also Prabhupada's disciples. Srila Nitya-lila Pravishta Akinchana Krishnadas Babaji, who was a disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, because they brought Gaur Govinda Swami to his room and he was still like unconscious, like in coma. And then everyone was worried, and doctors couldn't find any malady or any problem. And Akinchana Krishnadas, he came and he looked and he did some type of examining or something. And he said, oh, don't anyone worry. There's no disease here, no problem. This is just Bhava Vesh. Gaur Govinda Swami, he's experiencing some symptoms of Bhav. It's called Pralaya. There's the 8th symptom of Sattvic Bhav. Pralaya means devastation. So usually we don't get devastated, we don't die. The devotee just faints or goes unconscious, called Murchita. Murchita. He falls unconscious. Because pralaya means destruction. So the eighth symptom of Sattvic Bhav is actually death. Sometimes it's described as death. But usually the devotee just faints, because death is not very conducive for service, generally. So he said, don't worry, it's only Bhav. So who can understand? This is one very special experience that was displayed by Gaur Govinda Swami and confirmed by elevated Vaishnava, Akinchana Krishnadas. So who knows? We can only know when Krishna reveals or Guru reveals about the actual situation. Ematara kata achintya katan ananta moke tenari karite varnan. In this way, Nityananda performed many other inconceivable pastimes. I could not describe them all, even if I possessed unlimited mouths. Anantamukha. Daive ekadina jata prabhavasyache ailena Nityananda ishvarera kache. By providence, one day Nityananda came before Lord Vishwambar while Lord Vishwambar was sitting. This is a recurring pastime of Nityananda. Balya bhave digambara hasya shri vadane sarvada anandadhara vahe shri nayane. In the mood of a child, Balya bhav, Nityananda, again, digambara. This is about the 3rd time in 2 chapters, 3rd or 4th time they were meeting Nityananda with no clothes, digambara. In the mood of a child, he threw away his clothes, as children often do. I don't know about in ISKCON. The ISKCON's pretty proper, I suppose. But I live in a village. I live in a small village in Radhakund, in a little dead-end street. And it's about, sometimes Delhi people come and bring boxes of sweets, and we offer to Giriraj and give out sweets. So that's how we tell the census. The census means the population, the number of children. So our chowkidar yells out, Bhog, Bhog. Bhog means prasadam in Brijvasi language. You say Bhog. because they really enjoy it. Bhog means enjoyment. So they say, Bhog, Bhog, Thakurji, Bhog. And they all come. And there's one house, a very small house, but all of a sudden 10 kids come running out of that house. So when all the kids assemble, it's about 60 children. And half of them are naked, or some have one shirt on, or pants on and no shirt. And during the day you'll see the kids, they'll be on the street and they'll just, they'll just throw their shirt off on the street somewhere. Because there's no cars go up and down the street. It's like a dead-end street. It's like a private street almost. And the children, I'm too hot. I don't feel it. And they throw off. And then when they go swimming in Radhakund, they just leave their clothes there and they swim naked, Nagna Bhavas. So it's very much quite the habit of children that are completely in, that's their swabhav as babies and children. This Balya Bhav, they just throw all their clothes off. And nobody really minds. That's their freedom, that's their innocence. So this is Mayapur. Mayapur is a small village you can imagine 500 years ago. There's only a few houses of Brahmins here and there, and some small thatched houses of the Goshas and whatnot, and the cows and fields everywhere, like now. And Nityananda's in this mood, it's too hot. Because if it's hot, you take all your clothes off, you feel cool. But it's not recommended because of morality and social mores. We have to dress in certain dress code. But he had no clothes, and he was constantly smiling, and tears of love were flowing from his eyes. Ananda Dhara Wahi Shinayan. Niravadi Bali Karina Hunkar Mora Prabhu Nimai Pandit Nadijar. Nityananda roared loudly and repeatedly proclaimed, Nimai Pandit of Nadia is my Lord. Mora Prabhu Nimai Pandit Nadia. So there you have it again. We were discussing earlier about this concept of mamta bhav, or mamata. Mamata or mamta? Possession, feeling of possessiveness towards the Lord. Mora Prananath, Mora Raghunath, Mora Krishna's Kaviraj. Where is my Krishna's Kaviraj? Where is my Swarup Damodar? Jayananilo Premadana. Mora Krishna's Kaviraj. So here, Nityananda is saying, my Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my Nimai Pandit. He says, Mora Prabhu Nimai Pandit. My Prabhu. You have your Prabhu, I have my Prabhu. You have your Chaitanya, I have my Chaitanya. You have your Nimai Pandit, I have my Nimai Pandit. You have your Thakurji, Nitai Gaurasundar, I have Nitai, whatever, Nitai Padakamalam or whatever. We have different names. So this mamta, even Nitai has mamta for Lord Chaitanya. Hase Prabhu Dekitana, Murti Digambar, Mahajyotir Mayatanu, Dekite Sundar. On seeing Nityananda without any clothes on, Vishwambar laughed. Must be quite a funny sight, actually. The beautiful body of Nityananda was full of effulgence. Mahajyotir Maya, Tanu. Tanu means body. Dekiti Sundar. So Vishwambar is observing the beautiful body, all aspects, every limb exposed. His chest, his arms, his legs, thighs, everything. And his whole body was emitting beautiful, this jyoti, effulgence. Mahajyotirmaya. So Vishwambar laughed because it's funny. It's funny to see a grown man appear naked in the middle of your house. Imagine you're sitting in your house and your friend comes over with no clothes on. Nityananda was his brother, like Vishwarup is like elder brother, like his best friend. And then he walks in the house, Jai Nimai, Jai Nimai, Jai Nitai, right? Nitai comes into Vishwambar's house, Jai Nimai. Then Nimai says, Jai Nitai. What are you doing? What are you doing? Digambara. Hey, Digambara Baba. Like in Vrindavan, the Brijvasis, whoever you are, that you become Baba. So there was one Punjabi, very rare, of course, very, very rare. for a Punjabi person to become a Babaji. But somehow about 40 years ago, a Punjabi came to Radhakund. He left his family, he was older, and he took up this Gaudiya Vaishnavism. He became initiated by some devotee there, Gaudiya Vaishnava. And he took this Babaji Vesh, did his Nirjan Bhajan. So he became famous as Punjabi Baba, because he's like the one and only. There's nobody in Radhakund or Vrindavan called Bengali Baba, or UP Baba. There's so many thousands of Babas that are all Bengalis, and UPs or whatever, UP persons. But Punjabi Baba? Very, very rare. He's so rare that when he died, they made his samadhi, and it's right next to Raghunath Das Goswami's, in the same courtyard at Shamakund side, near Krishna's Kaviraj's Bhajan Kutir in Radhakund. And on that, in Hindi, it says, the samadhi of Punjabi Baba. So everybody becomes Baba. When we were living in Prabhupada's rooms from 1989 to 1992, doing Seva there, we used to regularly give out Para Prasad, offer the Giriraj, just to do Seva, Brijvasi Seva, give them Prasad. Because the Prikrama Marg is there, and sit on Prabhupada's veranda, and to express the goodwill of Srila Prabhupada and ISKCON and ourselves, and we gave out this Prasad, sometimes 10 kilos, sitting and giving out 10 kilos, 15, 20, and people would donate. So after some time, no one knew my name, but they gave me a name, Angrez Baba. I became Angrez Baba. Or if you grow a big beard, then they call you Dadiwala or Dadi Baba. Dadi Baba. Dadi means beard. So they have a very informal way of addressing everyone. So you can imagine maybe Nimai would say, "Hey, Digambar Baba, Digambar Baba, Nitai," because he's regularly displaying his birthday suit, as they say, his Digambara form. So at first, Nimai, he smiled, he was laughing, and then he was appreciating also. Oh, so beautiful. Just like the pujaris, when they do Abhishek, or anyone, but when they do Abhishek, when you see Lord Chaitanya or Nityananda with all their clothes on, or Shamsundar, okay, you appreciate the beauty of their moon-like face and their powerful prabhav and their influence in the overall feature. But the pujaris, when they actually dress the Lord and rub ghee on the body of the Lord, and they see how effulgent they are, like Radha Madhav or Radha Shamsundar, then they see the full form of the Lord, and definitely so beautiful. So Lord Chaitanya was remarking that he was laughing at first to see Digambara Baba, Nitai, but then he was appreciating, he was saying, "Oh, Sundar." He says, every limb he's saying here, he's saying, "Mahajyotirmaya Tanu Dekite Sundar, Tanu Dekite Sundar, Tanu Sundar." His body, Nitai's body, his form is so beautiful because you can see every aspect. You can see his hands, his arms, elbows, shoulders, chest, waist, everything you can see. And it's not only beautiful, but effulgent. Mahajyotir. So Lord Chaitanya is appreciating that. He's laughing at a funny sight, but then he's also appreciating. And now he responds. Ate vyate prabhu nija, mastakera vas, paraiya tuilena, tatapiya has. Vishwambar hurriedly took the cloth from his own head and put it on Nityananda, who simply laughed. A purport. Whenever Nityananda would take off his clothes out of ecstasy, Mahaprabhu would cover Nityananda's body with the cloth that the Lord tied on his own head. By this action of Mahaprabhu, Nityananda smiled and expressed his childish nature. It's very interesting that in Krishna Lila, Nitai, of course, appears as Balaram, and Nimai is Krishna, of course Radha also. But in the relationship between Krishna and Balaram, Balaram is Dhauji. Dhauji means elder brother. So in the relationship, Mother Yashoda, she often asks Balaram, she says, "Please look after your younger brother. Protect him from all sides." Gobata, Mandali Bhadra, Bhadrasen, these are older cowboys. And Balaram, you protect him from all sides. Don't let any demons come. And Balaram, make sure your younger brother eats his meal, takes his tiffin on time, and make sure he drinks water. So in Balaram's relationship or loving service towards Krishna, of course he's friend. He's his coward boyfriend, his brother, his older brother, but it's also mixed with Vatsalya Bhav, with the mood of a parent. There is mixture of rasas here, and it's conducive. There's Dasya Ras, Sakya Ras, and Vatsalya mixing together in Balaram in his dealings. Of course, there's also Madhurya. He expresses his Madhurya feature of serving Krishna when he expands his Ladani Shakti aspect. When Balaram expands his Ladani Shakti aspect, that takes a particular form to become Radharani's younger sister. So as Balaram, he's Krishna's older brother. But in Ladani Shakti and Madhura Ras, or Madhura Rati, then Balaram expands his Ladani Shakti into the form of an Angamandri. And an Angamandri becomes the younger sister of Radharani to serve Krishna and also Radha. So this in Krishna Lila, Balaram is looking after Krishna. He's looking after his younger brother. But when we come into Gaur Lila, now Balaram is being looked after by Mahaprabhu. The roles reverse. Mahaprabhu is actually younger. He's quite a bit younger than Nitai, maybe 10 years or 15 years younger than Lord Nityananda. So by age, Nityananda is superior. But by behavior is in Balya Bhav. He's acting like a 2-year-old. And Lord Chaitanya is about 20 or 18, 20 at this time. And Nitai is about 35 and he's acting like 2 years old. So Mahaprabhu is adopting the posture of the older brother, the protector, like the father. Hey, what is this? Come on. So he takes off the cloth from his head. I don't know if that means turban or whatever. Some kind of cloth was on his head. It says the cloth from his head. Usually the cloth from the head would be pagri or turban. But the translation, it just says it takes the cloth from his head. What does it say? Mastakera vas. Nija mastakera. Mastakera vas. The covering. Vas means covering. Covering his own head. So some turban or whatever he's wearing. So it's very interesting that the exchange of roles in different leelas. Apanela pilatana anga divya gande sheshe malya paripurna dilena shriyange. After that, Lord Nimai Pandit, he smeared sandalwood paste on the transcendental body of Nityananda, and he offered him a flower garland. Vasite dilena nija samuke asan stuti kare prabhu shune sarva bhaktagan. Vishrambar offered Nityananda an asan to sit on in front of him. Then Vishrambar offered prayers, stutikari, while all the devotees attentively listened. Shune sarva bhaktagan. So here we find the Lord worshipping his devotees. He's doing puja. He's doing puja to Nityananda. So he's worshipping Nityananda, who is, of course, always in the role of his devotee and serving him. So he's not saying, "Oh Nityananda, you're so foolish, you're acting like a child, you're coming here with no clothes, why don't you go back to Srivasa's house, don't you know how to behave?" He's not reprimanding him or scolding him. He's not trying to correct him. He's simply, "Okay, this is your Leela, okay, I laugh, haha, very nice, but let me worship you." So he's worshipping. This is the great happiness of the Lord, is to worship his devotees. The devotee finds great happiness. He finds great happiness in worshiping his Lord, bringing all types of paraphernalia, working very hard to grind sandalwood, to make sandalwood paste for Chandan Yatra for 21 days, grinding sandalwood put on the Lord's body to keep him cool and fresh during the hot season. And the Lord enjoys very much. And then, he enjoys receiving the service. The devotee enjoys serving the Lord. But then the Lord, He finds equal pleasure in serving His devotees. And this is an example. He's, rather than criticizing or rebuking or reprimanding Nittai, he's worshipping Him. He says, yes, your activities, your pranks, your Balya Bhav Leela, it is worshipable. It is worshipable. Aradhya Bhagavan Brache Chaitanyas. This is Aradhya. You are to be worshipped. Please. I'm not going to spank you or reprimand you. What is this? Again you're coming naked? Before I was sitting with Vishnu Priya and relaxing with her, and then you came in naked. Now again you're coming naked? What is this? 2 strikes, 3 strikes, you're out. You say. But he's not doing like that. Oh, again you've come naked. Oh, very good. Please sit down in asan. Now let me, Vishnu Priya, Chandan Dedo. Give me some chandan. So now, because we offer chandan to a respected guest, Argya, Padya, Argya, chandan. So this is when a very exalted or respected guest comes. We wash his feet, etat padyam, and then we offer argyam, some auspicious articles to wash the hands or place over the head to refresh the body after walking, coming long distance. Then we offer chandan, idam sa chandanam. So here, Mahaprabhu is offering puja to Nityananda as an exalted guest, as a great personality. Of course he is. He's Lord Balaram Nityananda. He's personally offering. And then everyone knows when there's puja, there's also puja and pat, or puja and stuti. There's also stava and stuti when doing puja. And Jiva Goswami goes on to say that if we simply do mum or mon puja without making any sound, or no bija mantras and no other mantras. And what to speak of, he's saying if puja is just done, you do the puja, and the puja is not mixed with the Hare Krishna mantra, and this is in Bhakti Sandarbha, he said the Lord doesn't accept it. This is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, there's a special feature. This is what Jiva Goswami is presenting in Bhakti Sandarbha. When we, the followers of Bhakti Sandarbha, the followers of Jiva Goswami, the followers of Mahaprabhu, when we're doing Murti Puja, Archana, then if we're simply doing the puja, because in other Vaishnava Sampradayas, they will do puja, and they will just chant the Stapana Omastraya Pat, they'll do mudras and Stapana mantras, and then they'll do Bija mantras and offer, and the Dravya mantra, the Bija mantra, and then they'll offer the articles. And then maybe later, after the puja, they will chant the Rig Veda, or Samaveda, or Purusha Shukta. But Jiva Goswami is telling that the puja, when we're doing puja, it should be mixed with the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then it will be satisfying to the Lord. Because it's told in other places that in the particular age that one appears in, whatever age you're living in, that is the avatar that should be worshipped by the people. So the avatar, the Kali Yuga avatar, is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Chana avatar. So in this age, although in previous ages people did puja and elaborate archan and deity worship in Treta Yuga, in Dwapara Yuga, but in this age, puja still also goes on, but this is the age of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He's a Kali Yuga avatar for the Kali Yuga, and he is propagating the Hare Krishna mantra. So puja, archan, murti puja and archan in the Kali Yuga has an extra feature that it should be mixed with this Maha mantra. Like this Bhakti Sandarbha is telling this. So Mahaprabhu has done puja of Nityananda, sitting him on asan, idam asanam, right? This is also part of puja. Prabhu kripya swagatam karu, idam asanam, klim krishnaya namaha, klim nishinaya namaha. Prabhu kripaya, oh please, be merciful, come Prabhu, please sit on this swagatam, idam asanam. So Mahaprabhu is saying, idam asanam, klim nityanandaya namaha. But he's not so formal, he's not chanting all the bija mantras, but he's offering asana, he's doing puja, now he's offering stuti. So he's doing a full worship of the Lord. And what were all the devotees doing? Shrine Sarva Bhaktagan. They were all attentively listening. They were all attentively listening to the prayers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the stuti and prayers that he was offering to Lord Nityananda. Now, what were those prayers? Does anyone know those prayers? Vrindavan Das Thakur, he knows those prayers, and now he's going to tell us the prayers that Lord Chaitanya offered after the worship of Lord Nityananda. Namai Nityananda Tumi Rupe Nityananda, Hey Tumi Nityananda Rama Murti Manta. Mahaprabhu Vishwambar said, your name is Nityananda. Your form is Nityananda, full of eternal bliss. You are directly Lord Balaram. Ram Murti Manta. Ram, you're the Murti of Ram. It doesn't mean Ramachandra, because Ram is often used in 10th canto. The word Ram is used to describe Balaram or Baladev. The purport. While offering prayers to Nityananda, Mahaprabhu said, your name is Nityananda and your form is directly Nityananda, eternal bliss. The flow of bliss is never checked in you. You are directly Lord Balaram. Lord Chaitanya goes on, Nityananda Paryatana Bhojan Vebhara Nityananda Bina Kichu Nahika Tomara. Nityananda, your traveling, your eating, and your dealings are all full of eternal bliss. There is never any diminution in your enjoyment of eternal bliss. So Mahaprabhu is saying, O Nityananda, there is no interruption of bliss in your traveling, eating, and all varieties of behavior. So obviously, Nityananda is fully Krishna conscious. He's fully Krishna conscious. As Prabhupada said, if someone is Krishna conscious, they'll always be joyful. And as anyone who's ever traveled, if you travel, like some people got in a boat the other day and went to Mamagachi. So were you all blissful? Maybe fearful? Afraid of drowning? Afraid the boat would tip over? So when we travel, usually we're not so blissful. It's rather austere or painful, or fills us with anxiety and late or fast or bumpy. But is eating okay, we can relate to that. When Lord Nityananda was eating, he was blissful. But in all his dealings, he was simply dealing. He was a dealer. He was a dealer in bliss, a bliss dealer. Like they have car dealers. People sell cars. They sell automobiles. A car dealer. Dealer means a wala, like you say wala. Full wala, foul wala, sabji wala. Or here, I don't know what you say. Vecha, kola vecha, I don't know, vecha. In Hindi they say wala. What do you say in Bengali, Bangla? Like we say sabji wala, you say sabji wala or you say what? Wala. Oh, because like kola vecha, Sridhar, kol means banana. He was a seller of bananas, kola vecha Sridhar. And incidentally, he's Madhumangal. And Madhumangal is always very fond of eating bananas. Very interesting parallel. Whenever Krishna and Madhumangal and Sridham or Subal would come to Radhakund together in Madhyan Leela, then Krishna would become occupied with some higher engagement. So then he would tell Brindadevi, why don't you take Madhumangal and Subal out to the banana patch? Let them go to the banana patch where all the bananas, let them go there and eat bananas and sleep and pass their time, because I'm a little busy over here in Nikunja. So he would dispatch Madhumangal and Sridham and Subal to the banana patch. So that Madhumangal is the same as Kolavecha Sridhar, who was always selling bananas, and Lord Nimai was stealing bananas from his banana patch. So this is the prayers. He says that you're traveling, you're eating, and all your dealings are full of bliss. So you can see oftentimes we may be blissful when we take prasadam, and we may be blissful when we travel, if we're traveling to the Holy Dham. If you're in America or Europe or Russia and you're going to Navadvip, after 8 months of being outside of Navadvip, you may be a little blissful. Maybe a little, I'm going to Navadvip, I'm going to Vrindavan. Maybe a little blissful. But when it comes to dealings with one another, then maybe we're not so blissful. It says Nityananda, his dealings, paryatan, vibhara. When we deal with one another, we communicate with one another, we behave with one another, we may not be so blissful. Sometimes we become offensive, or we become envious, or become proud, or fault-finding. So if this is some tendency within our heart, some obstacle in our heart, that our dealings are not very sweet or very blissful, then we can pray to the distributor of blissful dealings. He's the distributor of blissful dealings with others. He was a happy person. Nityananda was a happy person, and he dealt very happily with others. So Nityananda's mercy is all unlimited. It's rather unlimited. So we can pray to Nityananda, "Oh Nityananda, you're so blissful and you're so merciful. You're blissful and you're merciful. And you change the hearts. You can change the heart. The most vile and despicable and degraded hearts you can change by your influence, by your mercy. I saw how you changed the heart of Madhai. Jagai wasn't so bad, but Madhai was very bad. Madhai. Mud in his eye. Mud means miti, right? Clay. Mud-eye. He had mud in his eye. His vision was very dirty. His heart was very dirty. That was just like a joke. But Madhavananda became Mud-eye and Jagadananda became Jagai. Two Brahmins that became so degraded. But Lord Nityananda, he blissfully gave his mercy. He was blissful. Hey, Jagai, Madhai, chant Hare Krishna. He was blissful. And they threw a pot at him and he was still blissful. And Lord Chaitanya wanted to kill them. And Lord Nityananda was still blissful. He said, no, don't. Just remove their demoniac mentality. So we see that Nityananda, his bliss is so all-pervasive and he's so powerful, he can change the most despicable heart into a pure heart. And then Jagai and Madhai, after that mercy of Nityananda was received, and all their sins were taken by Mahaprabhu, they became so sweet. Jagai and Madhai became so sweet in their dealings and so blissful in their dealings. They built a bathing ghat, Jagai Madhai ghat down here, where the Barakana ghat and Mahaprabhu ghat down the road a piece, on the bank of the Ganga. And they started blissfully, they were cleaning the ghat every day and wringing out the gamshas for the devotees and serving them and giving them tilak and all kinds of sevas they were doing, very blissfully and happily. So this is a shelter for us to pray to Lord Nityananda, that we can be also very blissful and happy in our dealings, especially with the devotees. Tomare bujite shakti manushyara kota parama susatya tumi jata Krishna tata. Vishnubar prays more, his stutis. How can human beings understand you, Nitai? It is a fact that you are present wherever Krishna is. Chaitanjara Rase Nityananda Mahamati Jai Balena Jai Karena Sarvatra Sammati. That was the end of the prayers. Now Vrindavan Das Thakur speaks. The most magnanimous Nityananda is absorbed in ecstatic love for Lord Chaitanya. So whatever he speaks or does is always approved by the Lord. So all his dealings, the backing of all the dealings of Nityananda, they're backed by love. This is the backing. So the Lord Chaitanya is approving that. He may appear to do some funny things, but the Lord is not finding any fault with those funny things, because he's absorbed in love for Lord Chaitanya. And just in 2 minutes I want to comment on this point, that oftentimes in the Vaishnava Samaj, there's a great confusion about what is aparad and what is not aparad in terms of Vaishnava aparad. In some places, in some temples I've been to, everyone is so preoccupied with this idea of aparad. I'm not saying here because I'm not very much staying here to know the situation, but other temples where I've spent more time, not here. And the devotees say, devotees are always speaking to others, oh, you made aparad, aparad. And they're always speaking like this, oh, that's aparad. You took my Mahaprasad, that's aparad. you made aparad, you ate my Mahaprasad. They use the term very loosely and very incorrectly. So, in one sense, some of the behavior that Lord Nityananda was doing was what we consider even immoral. It's immoral, it's irreligious, it's sinful to appear naked. In Manu Samhita, this is one of the sins, to not cover the lower part of the body. Even the most primitive cultures, Adivasis, Abos, whatever they call them, Abos, Adivasis, people live in the, American Indians, and people live in the jungle, and so-called primitive people, they always cover the lower part of their body, men and the women. They may have nothing up here, women may have nothing up here, but the lower part is always covered. Even they understand this principle of human life, even their so-called uncultured or Adivasis or whatever. But this principle they understand. So it's a great sin to have the body completely naked. So in one sense, Nityananda was perpetrating what was called a sin, which of course obviously sin is an offense. But Lord Chaitanya, he didn't find any offense. He didn't find any offense. Of course, this is the Lord's Leela, and it can't be imitated. And he's beyond, he who makes the laws is also beyond all the laws. He's a powerful person. But in terms of drawing a point for our understanding, is that Lord Chaitanya is appreciating that he's saying here, he was always absorbed in ecstatic love for Lord Chaitanya. Chaitanya Rasa Nityananda Mahamati. So, the position of the heart of a Vaishnava, what is the position of his heart in terms of how he actually feels and thinks about the other devotees? He may do externally say something funny, or maybe speak some hard words, or even appear to get angry. That doesn't mean it's an offense. And it doesn't mean the Lord has taken that as an offense. Maybe he's a temple commander, but he doesn't have hatred. He actually has love, appreciation, and gratitude for the Vaishnavas that he's controlling. If he's a leader, he actually has this proper sabhav, this proper bhav, this loving mood. But in the course of his service, he has to speak heavy. Hey, you stupid! Why did you do that? Why did you crash the temple car? You should behave yourself. Don't you know how to drive? And then that devotee who drove like that, oh, he's offending me. It's not offense. It's not offense at all. You're just speaking firmly because you crashed Krishna's property. You broke the car by your crazy, careless driving. So we should be very careful to start branding everyone. Oh, you offended me. You're offensive. You're an offender. You're an aparadi. Wait. It's a lot harder to make an aparad than you think. The most important thing is the position of the heart. Just like the mother, sometimes the child misbehaves and she slaps the child. Well, that's a love slap. She's slapping him and it hurts. But she's not envious of the child. She doesn't hate the child. She loves the child absolutely and completely. And she wants all good for the child. But sometimes a slap is needed. A crack in the face or whatever. But then a dacoit comes to rob your house and he slaps you. He starts slapping you in the face. But he has hatred in his heart. In fact, he doesn't even care if he slaps you so hard you die. The mother's not going to slap the child to death. She'll give a love slap, a corrective slap. But the same a dacoit comes in to rob you, and he's also slapping you. Hey, just ta, and then ta, and he hits you hard enough, you die. Cracks your head. So it's the same slapping, but the heart is in a different position. The position of the heart of the dacoit, if I slap you and you die, if I kill you, who cares? I don't care. So this is the most important thing. The devotees get so much aparad phobia. Oh, aparad, aparad, oh. The main thing is correct the position of our heart. Our heart, we should have a very loving mood. What is our loving mood towards the devotee? Feel grateful and appreciate them. Not be envious. Remove envy from the heart. And then there may be some hard dealings, or, oh, you stole my Mahaprasad. Okay, you stole it. If someone steals your Mahaprasad, it's not an offense. It's not written anywhere. It's an offense to steal Mahaprasad. But if you think, but it is an offense to not feel happy when you see a Vaishnava. There's 6 kinds of offenses. One offense is to not feel happy upon seeing a Vaishnava. So that means offense is all about the heart. Another offense is to speak badly about a Vaishnava. And that bad speaking is because of envy. So the heart condition determines whether it's an aparad. If you're speaking out of envy, if you're pushing or acting out of envy and out of hatred, that's aparad. So this is a very fine point, but it's very important to understand. Do we genuinely love each other and love the devotees, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis? And sometimes, due to our own nature, we have a little passionate nature or whatever, some anger is there. We may get a little angry. The mother gets angry. She's yelling this, that, the other thing. And an hour later, she's cooking the lunch for the son. Cooking, what would you like? Would you like urd dal or mung dal? Oh, I want mung dal. Everything forgotten. But for the moment, she's like a tempest. She's like a tufan. So devotees may temporarily flare up like a tufan. But if in our heart we're always carrying and harboring envy, like a viper, there's always a viper or a cobra in our heart, that has to be removed. That will take us to hell. That will destroy our bhakti. So one should examine the heart position and not be so aparad hyper. Oh, you made aparad. And here's some, you fell down, you made aparad. Hey, you made aparad, hey. Don't you understand? No, she made aparad. If I'm envious of her, then I think she made aparad. So I'm saying it, but she didn't make any aparad. But my envy is the aparad is my envy. The aparad is actually my envy, or my own tendency to fault find. That's the aparad. And usually the people that are always saying, you made aparad, she made aparad, they themselves are the aparadis. They should actually adjust their hearts, because their hearts are out of adjustment. So they're saying, oh, you made aparad, you offended me. Oh, you offended me. Acha. First look inside and see what's the situation with your heart. Why you have this problem? So this is nice, and Lord Nityananda is acting very strangely, offensively, and according to the Shastras, in one sense, sinfully, running around naked, he's taking Mahaprasad. Sachi offers him Mahaprasad from their Narayan deity, Sandesh, it's Mahaprasad, she's not offering him Bhoga, and he throws it across the room. What's this, Sandesh? That's offensive. To throw prasadam on the floor is offensive. Of course, if you're a baby, it's not offensive. But he's 35 years old, but he's in the bhav of a baby. But he knows his bhav, but Sachi doesn't. Hey, you threw the Sandesh on the floor, what is it? So that's an offense, throwing Krishna on the floor. But his mentality, he was not envious or, like some demon, sometimes a demon, you give him prasad. What is this prasad? Then he's envious of the Lord, he throws it on the floor. He also throws the prasad on the floor. Or he takes a book out of your hand. I remember at the airport, I was distributing a book to someone. I thought they were a nice person. They looked okay, well dressed. And I handed him the book. He said, oh, Krishna book. This or that. And immediately ripped it up, and he threw it on the ground, and he put his foot on the book, and like this with his foot, with his shoe, and rubbed the book on the floor. And I just bent down to pick up the book, and he kicked me in the head with his other foot. And I picked up the book, and I touched him on my head, and I prayed to the Lord. I said, please forgive this fool. Because that's what a kind of sin. Such an envious demon rips the book in half, then throws it on the floor of the airport and steps on it. Where will he go in next life? He'll go between these, and go to hell where those steel rollers or steel, like cane juice, ganaras, those steel rollers they have. The electric machines, they have these big rollers. So they have a big machine like that, a human juicer. And the human juicer, they put in these demons, go inside these, it's called manushras, ganaras, manoras. Ganaras means cane juice, ganaras, so it's manoras. And ras of human beings, they put them inside, and then again and again and again. This is where these type of offenders go. So this means his heart is in a very bad position. As soon as he sees a book, he wants to offend it. So we have to check the position of our heart and be a little bit more cooperative with each other, and don't immediately accuse each other of, oh, you're an offender, this, that. Increase our love for Krishna, increase our love for the devotees, and all behavior, natural behavior and perfect behavior will emanate from that loving sentiment within the heart. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat ki jai. Reading from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur. This is chapter 12, Nityananda Mahima, continuing the glories of Lord Nityananda. And yesterday we heard Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offering prayers. He worshipped Lord Nityananda, then he offered him prayers, and then Vrindavan Das Thakur, he says, Chaitanya Rase Nityananda Mahamati Jai Balena Jai Karena Sarvatra Samati. Vrindavan Das Thakur said, the most magnanimous Nityananda is absorbed in ecstatic love for Lord Chaitanya. So whatever he does or speaks is always approved by the Lord. Chaitanya Rasa Nityananda. Next verse, this is text 22. Prabhu Bale Eka Kani Kopina Tomar Deha Iha Bhara Icha Achaye Amar. This is the famous Kopin Leela. It's interesting. This is a pastime about Lord Nityananda. And in the same context of these last two chapters, we heard several times that Lord Nityananda was Digambara. He had no clothes at all, including Kopin. He was naked. And now this whole pastime is about Nityananda's Kopins, which means his undergarments. So Lord Vishnubar, he said, Nitai, give me a piece of your Kopin. I have a great desire to have it. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati explains, while traveling to the holy places with one sannyasi, at that time, Lord Nityananda formally accepted the principle of wearing the brahmachari kopin. Mahaprabhu expressed a desire to beg that kopin, which is a sign of a brahmachari. Text 23. Etabali prabhutara kopina aniya chotakari chirilena aneka kariya. After speaking in this way, Vishwambar took Nityananda's kopin and tore it into many small pieces. So it appears that even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is approving of Lord Nityananda's Digambara Vesh, because now he only has kopins, and Lord Chaitanya is taking his kopins, which means again, Nityananda becomes Digambara, he becomes naked. But this is for another purpose. So he took his kopin and he tore his kopin into small pieces. Sometimes on Janmashtami or Radhastami, after the deities are bathed, Radha Madhav, Radha Shamsundar, they wear the Snan Vesh, or their Snan Vastra, their bathing clothes, usually some thin white cloth, some thin cotton or maybe silk, and wrapped around the deity, Radharani or Krishna, Radha Madhav. And all the substances are poured over their bodies. They look so beautiful, Krishna looks so beautiful, his transcendental body showing through his Snan Vastra, his bathing cloth. Very much reminds devotees, when devotees see the deities like this, and they think of Jal Keli, they think of Krishna's water pastimes in Radhakund in the afternoon, Nitya Leela every day in Madhyan Kal. In Radhakund at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Radha and Krishna have their water splashing pastimes. They splash water on each other and they throw lotus flowers at each other. Then
Shanti Panti Kalyanti Sriram Jayanti Ananda Chinmaya Shat Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusha Namam Bhajami Govindam Adipurusha Amma Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Prabhu Nityananda Dvaita Grada Shiva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vishna Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Rama Krishna Devaya Namah Hare Hare Rama Krishna Devaya Namah Hare Rama Krishna Devaya Namah Hare Rama Krishna Devaya Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Vatsala Sri Gaura Hari Vajabhakata Vatsala Sri Gaura Hari Sri Gaura Hari Sahi Goshta Bihari Nanda Jasomati Chitahari Dhira Damodara Ishaye Kana Bhova Mandire Basi Karaha Bojana Nandirani Deshi Bashi Giri Baradari Baladeva Saha Sokha Boise Sari Sari Shukta Shakhari Baji Lalita Kushmanda Dalidana Dugda Tumbi Dadi Mocha Kanda Udabora Mash Boda Rotika Britana Daskuli Pistaka Kir Puli Payasana Kapura Amrita Keli Ramba Kirashara Amrita Rasalama Dwadasha Pakora Luci Sinisar Puri Ladura Sabali Ojana Korena Krishna Hoye Kutuhali Radhikara Pakayana Bibida Byanjana Paramayanande Krishna Korena Bojana Chale Bale Ladu Khai Sri Madhu Mangala Bhagala Bajaya Deya Hari Bolo Radhikari Gani Hari Nayane Rakone Tripta Hoye Kai Krishna Jasoda Bhavani Bhojanande Priya Krishna Subhasita Bari Sabe Mukha Prakaloy Hore Sari Sari Asta Mukha Prakaliya Jata Sakagane সুখে নিদ্রা গেলা বিশাল আকাশে কি পুছা শ্যামর দুলায়া অপূর্ব সায়ায় কৃষ্ণ সুখে নিরয়া Yasomati anga priye danishtayanito Shri Krishna prasad radha unje hoye prito Lalitari sakti gana avashesha paya Mane mane sukhe radha Krishna guna gaya Hari lila ekmatra jahara pramoda Bhogarati gai takur bhakti vinoda Bhajava kata vatsala Sri Gaura Hari Bhajava kata vatsala Sri Gaura Hari Sri Gaura Hari Sahi Goska Bihari Sri Gaura Hari Sahi Goska Bihari Nanda Jasomati Chita Hari Nanda Jasomati Chita Hari Raja Govinda Govinda Gopala Raja Govinda Govinda Gopala Raja Govinda Govinda Gopala Raja Govinda Govinda Gopala
तो वो है ना वो प्रभु जी हाँ बराबर अच्छा उसको बोल तो वो तो इधर बंगा के रहते हैं
Guru sukher khabo gai Guru sukher khabo gai Surabhi kunjete namer haat khuleche Kodani thai Bora mojar kotha thai Bora mojar kotha thai Shraddha mule shudha naam Sikhate te bikhai Jata bhakta brindabashi Jata bhakta brindabashi Adi khari dekhe naam beche dero kashi Jadi naam kinde bhai Jadi naam kinde bhai Amar sange cholo mahajan kache jaan গায় সুরাবি কুঞ্জেতে নামের হাত তুলেছে কোদনিতায় তুমি কিনবে কৃষ্ণ নাম তুমি কিনবে কৃষ্ণ নাম রাষ্ট্রী লইব আমি পুনঃ হবে